The old house groaned like a tired giant as rain lashed against the windows. I huddled deeper into the armchair, the faint scent of mildew and dust filling my nose. My parents were out for the night, leaving me to my own devices, which in this creepy old place meant battling boredom and a growing sense of unease. The basement was always the worst. Even in the brightest light of day, it held an air of cold, shadowed mystery. The unfinished portion, sealed by a heavy wooden door, was the stuff of childhood nightmares. Now, with the storm raging outside, it felt even more ominous. A sudden boom of thunder rattled the windows, and a floorboard creaked ominously from somewhere below. My heart jumped into my throat. It couldn't be the wind. The basement door was locked tight. Curiosity, laced with a healthy dose of fear, gnawed at me. I grabbed a flashlight, its beam cutting a weak path through the dusty gloom. My hand trembled as I approached the basement door. The heavy lock held no appeal, but the creaks and groans were getting louder, closer. With a deep breath, I pulled open the door. A wave of stale, damp air washed over me. The flashlight beam barely penetrated the darkness beyond. It was a scene straight out of a horror movie. Cobwebs draped like ghostly curtains, broken furniture piled in the corner, and a single flickering bare bulb casting long, distorted shadows. The creaking sound grew insistent, coming from a corner shrouded in shadow. I took a hesitant step forward, the floorboards groaning under my weight. Then, a shape detached itself from the darkness. It wasn't a monster from a movie, no fangs or glowing eyes. It was a small, emaciated dog, its fur matted and dirty. But its eyes held a desperate hunger, and its ribs strained against its sunken sides. Relief washed over me, so intense it left me weak. I knelt down, offering the dog a piece of jerky from my pocket. It gobbled it down in seconds, its bony tail thumping a weak rhythm against the dusty floor. Suddenly, the basement light flickered and died, plunging me back into darkness. The dog whined, a sound laced with fear. I fumbled with the flashlight, but the batteries were dead. Panic clawed at my throat, but the dog's whimper grounded me. I scooped it into my arms, its frail body surprisingly warm against mine. We huddled together in the darkness, the only sound our shared breathing and the distant rumble of the storm. When the sun finally peeked through the rain-streaked windows, I found my way back upstairs, the shivering dog nestled safely in my arms. The basement held no more terror, only the memory of a scared creature and the unexpected comfort of companionship found in the darkest corner. The Elmwood apartments were grand in their faded glory. High ceilings adorned with chipped plaster roses, and peeling wallpaper whispered of a bygone era. My new apartment, however, lacked the charm. It was a cramped studio tucked right beneath the building, its only window a grimy porthole overlooking a perpetually damp alley. The worst part, the basement access hatch right in the middle of the worn wooden floor. The first few nights, the hatch remained firmly shut, but then the creaking started. A slow, rhythmic groan that seemed to emanate from the floorboards themselves. It would come in the dead of night, punctuated by a heavy thud or a muffled thump, like something shifting just below. Sleep became a precious commodity. One particularly nerve-wracking night, the creaking reached a crescendo. It was accompanied by a scratching sound, like nails scraping against rough wood. Curiosity, laced with a healthy dose of terror, battled in my gut. Armed with a rusty crowbar I found in the building's forgotten maintenance closet, I approached the hatch. The lock, predictably, was rusted shut. It took all my strength and a good dose of desperation to pry it open. A wave of stale, cold air rushed out, carrying the scent of dust and something metallic. The flashlight beam revealed a steep, rickety staircase leading into an inky abyss. Panic threatened to consume me, but the scratching noise started again, insistent and closer. Taking a deep breath, I gripped the rusted railing and started down. Each step sent a jarring tremor through the building, the groans intensifying with each descent. The air grew thicker, the darkness absolute. My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic drum against the oppressive silence. Then I saw it, a sliver of light filtering through a crack in the wall at the bottom of the stairs. As I approached, the light flickered into view. It was a single flickering bulb illuminating a small, dusty room. In the center, chained to a thick pipe, was a rocking chair. But this wasn't your grandma's rocking chair. It was made of rusted iron, its once ornate design twisted and warped. And in it, rocking back and forth with a slow, rhythmic creak, was an old woman. Her clothes were tattered, her hair matted white. Her eyes, however, were bright and clear, filled with a chilling lucidity. They locked with mine for a single terrifying moment before she let out a dry, raspy laugh. The creaking stopped. The silence returned, broken only by the rasp of her breath and the frantic thudding of my own heart. I don't know how long I stood there, frozen in terror, but one thing was certain. The Elmwood Apartments held a secret older and more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. The next morning, I fled, leaving the hatch open, the basement silent, and the rocking chair an unsettling reminder of the horrors that lurked beneath the faded grandeur of the Elmwood Apartments. The air in the old Thornton steel factory hung heavy with the ghosts of industry. Dust motes danced in the single bare bolt's harsh light, illuminating the cavernous space where once molten metal flowed and machines roared. Now, silence reigned, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of a leaky pipe somewhere in the shadows. I, Mark, the newest janitor tasked with cleaning this desolate expanse, found myself drawn to a rusty metal door tucked away in a forgotten corner. A faded sign above it, barely legible, read storage, restricted access. Curiosity gnawed at me, a persistent itch in the vast emptiness. Against my better judgment, I pulled on the rusted handle. It groaned in protest before grudgingly giving way. A wave of stale air, thick with the smell of oil and something metallic and unsettling, washed over me. The dim flashlight beam cut a weak path into the inky blackness beyond. Taking a shaky breath, I descended the creaky wooden steps. The air grew colder, the darkness thicker. The silence pressed in, broken only by the rhythmic thump of my own heart. The flashlight beam sputtered, then died. Panic clawed at my throat, plunging me into an abyss. Suddenly, a soft, blue glow emanated from a corner ahead. As I stumbled towards it, the glow intensified, revealing a series of rusted vats. They hummed with a low, unsettling thrum, and a sickly blue light emanated from a bubbling liquid inside. Then, a shape moved in the shadows. It was humanoid, but gaunt and skeletal, its skin an unnatural shade of gray. Its eyes, two glowing blue orbs, locked on me with an unsettling hunger. A guttural growl escaped its throat, a sound that vibrated through bone and marrow alike. Terror propelled me backwards. My foot caught on a loose step, and I tumbled down the rickety stairs, landing in a heap on the cold, damp concrete floor. The creature descended, its movements slow and deliberate, its eyes never leaving mine. Just as it reached for me, a deafening clang echoed through the factory. A section of the overhead catwalk had given way, showering the creature with a cascade of rusty metal bars. It shrieked, a sound that ripped through the oppressive silence, before disappearing back into the shadows. Scrambling to my feet, adrenaline coursing through my veins, I sprinted towards the exit. The metal door slammed shut behind me with a resounding bang, and I didn't stop running until I burst out into the cool night air, gasping for breath. The rusty door remained locked, a testament to the horrors hidden beneath Thornton steel. But the memory of the creature with glowing blue eyes and the vats of pulsating blue liquid would forever haunt my dreams, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left buried.